Shalom Uvracha, welcome everybody. I am here joined today from the Nation of Ephraim Gola and Sanhedrin Initiative, a Golan embassy in the Holy Land. And I'm here with our good friend, leader of the Nation of Ephraim, Mr. Ulf Diebel, Prince of the Order of Melchizedek, and many other great titles. We're here to talk about this week's Parsha. We're here to talk about the war effort. We're here to connect this week's Parsha with reality, live with the Torah, and let's get started. Ulf, how are you doing today?
Yes, after we had, of course, already a little preparation, I'm slowly waking up. Awesome. I'm looking forward, because Chaye Sarah, of course, is a very exciting parasha, where the Machpelah cave is purchased. And so up to today, I mean, we're talking about now 4,000 years ago, this approximately happened. So, of course, you have been during the last holidays, you have visited Machpelah. You sent up some pictures. So I visited Machpelah the first time, 97, 97, 25 years ago, 26 years ago. And so it's still today one of the major obstacles, even in the Palestinian conflict today, because it's in Hebron. There are a lot of unfriendly Arabs living there. And so already 2017, 7th of July 2017, so the Machpelah cave was handed over to the Palestinian by the UNESCO. So it's a big shock. A lot of people actually do not realize how important actually that Machpelah cave is. So I'm very excited to go through to the parasha. And
can you put up the parasha, Ulf, so that the guys that want to follow up with us can see it? And of course, yes, I agree with everything you said. This is a special parasha. We're coming out of, for those who aren't following, we're coming out of very, very strong parashot because we're starting the Torah anew. So we came out of Yishmael last week. We talk about Akedat Yitzchak in Parshas Vayera. We talk about the sacrifice of the potential sacrifice of Yitzchak, okay, and we also talk about
it's the first covenant, it's basically the covenants Hashem made, in Genesis 17.
Yes, we talk about Yitzchak being born. We talk about Yitzchak getting a bris. We talk about Yitzchak. We talk about Avraham Avinu throwing away Yishmael. So last week's parsha was also very, very telling for this situation. We saw how Yishmael was thrown out of Avraham's house because he's trying to kill Yitzchak, okay, because of jealousy. Again, most of the that we also, of course, this jealousy that we see. You see the reason why jealousy, and I just want to point this out, and then we go into this week's parsha because I think it's very important. The reason why jealousy is in the 10 Commandments, and it's such an together with don't kill and don't steal, is because we see that jealousy is a extremely terrible catalyst for evil. Okay, because when someone is jealous, like we see Yishmael, he's jealous of his younger brother getting more attention. All the psychologists today already figured this out, that when someone has a baby and then he has another child, the older child is always jealous of the baby, and he's trying to hurt him because he's jealous that the baby is getting more attention. This is something that I know because I have 5 kids. You have to always be careful from one kid being jealous of the next one. But when we're talking about adults, when we're talking about Yishmael, or when we're talking about the brothers of Yosef, this jealousy drives them to want to kill or sell or destroy their brother, not because of any bad thing that he did, but just because he exists, because they're jealous of him. And this is why it's up there in the 10 Commandments. not to be jealous of your friends, of his house, of his wife, and so on. So last week, Yishmael and his mother, Hagar, are sent away from the camp of Avram. And this is also, like we see, okay, anyway, let's go into this week's Parsha. So, Vayu Chaye Sarah, 100 shana ve-20 shana ve-7 shanim, Shnei Chaye Sarah. We see that Sarah lived. We start off Chaye Sarah. Okay, the Parsha is named for the life of Sarah, and we're talking about her passing away. So right away, Rashi tells us, לכך נכתב שנה בכל כלל וכלל לומר שכל אחד נדרש לעצמו בת 100 כבת 20 לחטא. When she was 100, she was like 20 years in regards to how much sins she had. And just like when she was 20, she had no sins, and she was not, so too, when she was 100, she had no sins. And also, when she was 20, when she was 100, she was beautiful as if she was 20 in beauty. Shnei Chaye Sarah, they were all equal for good. Kulan Shavin Litova. So in other words, why her days were full. Every day she was serving Hashem. Every day she was righteous. Every day was as if she never did any sins. We're talking that this is the story of the righteous people. Every day is full of studying the Torah, prayer, and acts of charity. So this is the legend, the story of, even though she passed away, we know that her life was a full life. Every day she was, we know what Sarah was doing. She was supporting Avraham Avinu, helping with the guests, teaching Torah, and so on. Okay. And Sarah passes, Vatamat Sarah bekiryat arba hi Hebron, be'eretz Canaan, vayavo Avraham lispot leSarah v'livkota. So Sarah passed away in Kiryat Arba, which is Hebron, in the land of Canaan. Huh?
Yeah, this is how it's still called today, Kiryat Arba. Hebron on the other, but Kiryat Arba is the settlement right next to it.
Correct. So Kiryat Arba on the names of the 4 giants that used to live there: Achiman, Shashai, Talmai, and Aviham. So we had the 4 giants that survived the flood. Achiman, Shashai, Talmai, and Aviham. Now, in those days, you can imagine, the giants were basically like the kings, okay? They were the heads of the mafia, okay? Because nobody could compete with them. So they, it was like they controlled the area before any kings or Canaan or whatever. So this was known as Kiryat Arba, the place of the four territories. Okay, so you were in Achiman's territory, Sheshai, Talmai. We also know that that when Avraham Avinu is praying for Sodom and Amorah because they're being destroyed, we know that the messenger that comes to tell Avraham Avinu, hey, Lot is in trouble. I'm sorry, before that there was Lot is in trouble. He is one of the giants. Now, he didn't do it for the right reasons. He came to tell Avraham, hey, Lot is in trouble because he hoped that Avraham would go to war against these kings and he'd die fighting them, and then he would steal Sarah. But because that was his intention, he was waiting for Avraham to lose, and then he can steal Sarah. But at the end of the day, he helped Avraham, and he got rewarded. He got a blessing from Avraham for this. Okay, but in any case, another reason that Rashi says, another thing why it's called Kiryat Arba is because the 4
couples that were buried there, man and wife, Adam and Eve, Abraham, Sarah, Isaac, Rebecca, and Jacob and Leah. Very well.
Yes. So of course we have that is another way we can look at it, and that is relevant also today, not only after the giants already died, right? Vayavo Abraham.
This is interesting that he puts Adam and Eve in there. So yes, of course.
Yep. Vayavo, well, that's because I would assume that the significance of Avraham Avinu and Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov is very similar to Adam, because when Adam was alive, Hashem's presence was in the world. Okay, Gan Eden was full of God's presence, and then Hashem did not was not happy with the world's behavior all the way till Avraham Avinu came and gave a little hope to society. So of course, the fresh air of righteousness and justice that Avraham Avinu brings to the world is like Hashem. Oh, finally, it was worth it for me to wait this long for my creation.